Social Security beneficiaries. Rising inflation also means more retirees will end up being taxed on their benefits, and when Congress introduced Social Security taxation in the 1980s, it set income thresholds and avoided indexing them for inflation. On the positive side of this, retirees whose costs are rising more slowly than the official inflation figures will benefit from the latest cost of living adjustments according to the U.S. Labor Department. And Bernie Sanders and Peter DeFazio have introduced the Social Security Expansion Act, which would, among other measures, boost benefits, adopt the Consumer Price Index for the elderly, and subject all income above $250,000 to the Social Security payroll tax. However, Democratic Representative John Larson has also proposed a Social Security reform bill. His bill adopts the CPI index for the elderly as the basis of the annual COLA and applies the payroll tax to annual wages above $400,000. Experts say that Larson's bill includes more benefit improvements than the DeFazio-Sanders bill, but DeFazio-Sanders extends solvency for significantly longer than the John Larson bill. Now everybody, officials are warning Americans of a global food shortage. The Biden administration is working to address several issues that the American people are currently facing. During the crisis, Americans across the country got a little extra help from stimulus checks, but for most of us, it's been a while since one has hit our bank accounts. And Georgia's governor recently signed Bill 1302, which is a new law attempting to offset the rising cost of inflation by refunding some money back into the hands of taxpayers. We've seen inflation hit the South pretty hard as housing and rental prices in southern cities continue to skyrocket on an upward trend, leaving some wondering if it's time to relocate. And the amount you receive will all depend on the marital status, dependent on how much and how filed your taxes to begin with. The payouts begin at $250 and go up from there. Georgia residents who are single or filed separately can expect to receive a payment of $250, but if he files the head of household, the refund will be $375. And then married couples or anyone who filed joint taxes in 2020 and 2021 will receive a payment of $500. To qualify for the one-time bonus, you have to be an active Georgia resident, as the bill excludes sending payments to non-residents, dependents, or trust. The good news is that the payment will automatically hit your account if you have filed your taxes in the year 2020 and 2021. And according to a set of tax rebates, they're also going to be hitting bank accounts for people in New Mexico. Those who have filed taxes and choose direct deposit will see the rebate checks beginning next week. Those who chose to have checks mailed can expect those to come throughout the month, and the round of payments due in July have income limits attached to them. Those who are single filers must have had an income of $75,000 or less on their 2020 tax return to qualify for a $250 rebate payment. The New Mexico Taxation and Revenue Department says paper checks will also begin to be processed and mailed next week. The department says they have a limited capacity in how many checks they can print per day. And now, the United Nations warned that the world faces a catastrophe because of the growing food shortage around the globe. There is actually a new stimulus relief program that is approved. About $500 stimulus checks available for many people are available right now for you. Joe Manchin has just shared a new list of changes that he would like to see made on President Biden's Build Back Better package. So you want to watch until the end of the video to see if you're eligible for this fourth stimulus check. We have a ton of good news about the fourth stimulus payment, so you definitely don't want to miss out on it. Over 500,000 Massachusetts low-income residents dealt with some of the financial blows as the onset of the crisis continued. But the good news, everybody, is that many residents of Massachusetts should start receiving $500 payments from the Baker administration within the next week. The $500 payments comprising the first phase of the $460 million crisis essential employee premium pay program are funded through federal stimulus crisis relief funds. Checks will be mailed automatically to eligible individuals, whether regardless of what type of industry you work in or business you work for. And no type of application or action is needed on behalf of Massachusetts essential workers themselves. The Baker administration is actually based eligibility on a broad set of criteria, starting with whether residents filed their 2020 tax returns. People must have also been Massachusetts residents in 2020 or part residents in a Commonwealth between March 10th and 2020. Between March and December 31st, 2020, the governor said, I am pleased to sign the Crisis Essential Employee Premium Program into law. And our administration has worked quickly to design the parameters for the program with plans to efficiently begin distribution of these payments. This program will support these workers who served our communities, especially in the early days of the crisis. Now, income is also a major eligibility factor